No, that wasn't the thought process. I don't know. I got
Wow.
overwhelmed. And
We
then
love the drama that I created.
I seem
It's
to
me.
remember. Welcome to Ickrospective, where we take our silly short films a little too seriously. I'm Trevor.
And I'm Ben.
Our guest this week is Hannah. How are you doing, Hannah?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm pretty good.
I'm doing well, thank you.
Hannah is one of the starring roles of the episode we're analyzing this week, the book scene. She's in a lot of early Icker videos. So like the question I've been starting people off with have been basically like, what's your relationship to Icker, Hannah? Or like, what do you remember when I first brought it up? What is your relationship? Let's start there.
Honestly, I feel like before I even like was in any video, there were some of your videos out and I don't remember if it were you, if it were me, or if it was just like, we were both like, hey, like, let's put me in a video. But, like I knew like you, Trevor, from, oh gosh, since sixth grade, right?
Yeah, it would be, sixth grade, I think. Yes. Yeah, for sure. That's a long time. Oh my God.
Yeah. And so we were in improv together, like, I don't know. Honestly, all of it is all very blurry. But all I remember is these are silly videos and I've never been in any video, but it'd be fun to learn and fun to do this with friends.
Yeah. Ben, were you aware that I was part of an improv competition all of middle school and all of high school, and Hannah was with me?
I was about to say it was so funny because I don't remember you being at a single Funny Bone Thugs and Crowd rehearsal. I don't remember you being there ever. Even the open door. I don't think I saw you ever.
So Hannah, that is our undergrad's improv show. I went to a few rehearsals my freshman year and I got overwhelmed and I didn't go anymore. And then I went to quite a few.
I'm only going to do real theater. Improv's for the chumps.
No, that wasn't the thought process. I don't know. I got overwhelmed.
And we love the drama that I created.
I seem to remember.
No, you go.
I seem to remember like when my first semester when we did the improv was happening and I went, you weren't there. And I think Corey Fern was leading it. And I remember people mentioning you and I was like, who is that? And but yes, Hannah and I competed in an improv competition for like 7-ish years. And that's like not mainly how we knew each other, but like mainly how we got.
You bonded?
Yeah.
Definitely.
There you go.
And we ended up getting second place.
We did. So the way it worked is it go regional, state, and then globals. They had people from all over, like I think South Korea competed. And in our category, we got second place in the world.
Nice. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have that image somewhere. It might be in my office, but like we have an image of all of us holding our trophy. It's cute.
So far, this has been a lot of me finding out things about Trevor from interacting with their friends from early Icker.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of things. There's no reason to bring that up, I suppose. You were part of an improv group and in charge of it. So I could have brought it up earlier. I don't know. I didn't really think about that till Hannah brought it up. Okay. This week we are watching and analyzing the book scene and we're talking about it under the lens of inheritance. Why can't I say that? Can someone else say that? Inheritance. Okay.
You're saying it right. You're just thinking about it too much.
Yeah, I'm second guessing myself. Ben, would you like to do the episode recap?
Yeah, I can do the episode recap. We start off in what appears to be a shady book deal, which soon turns into a family reunion episode.
I love it. Hannah, what do you remember from this day from filming?
Well, like I said earlier, this is the first video we ever filmed. And you just texted me like, hey, want to be in a video? Come to Emily's house.
Yeah, do you remember anything from filming? Because I only have loose memories. I don't remember anything from the second one we filmed, but this one, all I remember is being like, okay, go there and do this. Go. That's all I remember. Was there anything else? Was there any discussion?
I don't think there was any plan. I think it was just like a bunch of like kids playing Let's Pretend and film it. And I think that's all that really happened.
So really, they perfected their directing style just off the bat. It hasn't really grown since then.
Yeah, I was instantly a natural. I haven't changed at all. I do remember prior to this, after I filmed the first two, I had asked my dad to buy me the book that is in this journal, because I was like, I wanna do a video about this book, about this journal, and you gotta buy it for me. I don't remember what my intentions were, but I guess this is what was created. One more question. I can't think of what it was off the top of my head. Oh, okay, at the time, maybe it was a little bit before, I was trying to film an actual movie, like a feature-length movie. Were you a part of that? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Okay. I should rewatch that footage. I don't remember how that began and ended, so.
Yeah, it was coterie, right?
Yes, yep.
For the purpose of this, I rewatched your Icar film called Coterie.
Oh, the like actual coterie scene?
Yeah.
With Tatum Lenore?
Yeah, and many others.
You watched a couple to recap for this?
Tatum Lenore and the two others.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. Anyway, sorry, Ben, to leave you out of the conversation.
No, this is fine. Well, I like to pick up these little bits. It reminds me a lot of, so there's I don't know how much of video games y'all play, but there's a company called Bungie. They made Halo. And before they made Halo, they made a game called Marathon. And a lot of the time people talk about like,
wait, hold.
I could hear. It's good.
They
could have a little phone call in the background as a treat. So Bungie made Halo, and then before that they made a game called Marathon, and a lot of times there's like hints and pieces to Marathon throughout their other properties. And this reminds me, Coterie, this feature film, this proto Icar project, it just reminds me of Bungie's Marathon, of just like this prior project that it exists, but you can feel its influences throughout the like mainline product.
I'll try to tell you when there are coterie influences throughout the future episodes. There's none in this one. This is purely, let's use the word original.
Yeah, let's use that when we can.
Let's transition into the rotating segment of the episode. This week, I'm calling it the morality lesson. I want to look at the video and just look at it as if it's morality lesson, some sort of tale to be learned about. I don't necessarily want it to be about the theme of the week. So if you could analyze it not through inheritance, that would be cool, but it's okay if you do. Ben made a face. Are you able to make it a morality lesson not with inheritance in mind, or could you?
Oh, yeah. No, I can.
Okay. What, Ben, give it to us. What do you think the morality lesson? Yeah.
Naturally, Trevor's like, I'm gonna couch my answer. I'm gonna hold it back.
I mean, you are offered to be like, no, Trevor, you go first.
Oh no, I'm too nice for that. I couldn't. The thing is, and I don't know if this is like a morality lesson so much, but the lesson that I would take away from this is there are lessons to be learned in unexpected places.
What do you mean by that? Like, what is your evidence?
So my evidence.
Sorry, my teacher.
Okay, professor. So the thing is, right? We have our pappy. I'm going to say pappy and son. I know that no one involved is a man. It does not matter. We have pappy and son. And what I find throughout this video is that pappy is teaching, and it's dangerously close to inheritance, but also my inheritance is kind of loose. But it's one of the big things, right? What do you think is in there? Words. Then you don't know anything at all. It's the father, Pappy, is trying to teach the son about books, about the world of books, kind of about, even about himself. Oh, my dad would have loved this. Oh, I don't like books. That's why I'm selling it to you. Like there's lessons to be learned here. And where do we find our characters at the beginning? Sitting facing away from each other. Where do we find them at the end? Shoulder to shoulder, looking out into the world together. There's lessons to be learned. Like the father is teaching the son. Sorry, Pappy is teaching the son lessons about the world, about himself, about themselves through this unexpected reunion.
Would you like names for the characters? The canonical names?
I could pull them up, and I think I'm going to refuse to because I think it's fun to call them Pappy and Son.
Well, I'm going to tell.
I'll hang on. Let me get there. This isn't May and Harold, is it? No, that's the Hunt. It's Elsie and May. No.
Yeah, it's Elsie and May. Yes,
Elsie and May.
Who is who?
You are May, and Emily is Elsie.
Yep. And to add on to my ongoing giving the characters last names, May's last name is Rossum, and Elsie's last name is Pennington. Hannah, if you could make this into a morality lesson, what would you do? What would you say?
I would say, honestly, Elsie, is that her name? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Emily's character is
Pappy and Son. Pappy and Son. It's
Pappy and Son. So Elsie, aka Son, obviously did not recognize her Pappy or his Pappy or May, And so, like Elsie didn't even know anything about Pappy. And so personally, like as someone who grew up with like a divorced parents, it's so important for a father to be in his child's life, And so all of this didn't have to happen, but it's better late than never also,
Better late than never. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a morality about like, it's important to keep connections to your parents. And
yeah, like, like parents should like stay in their children's life.
Okay.
And, because even if like you have you don't agree necessarily with your parent, like, there's something so beautiful whenever, a older generational person has connections with the younger generation, because there's so many stories that could be lost and other lessons that could be lost too, that, the child couldn't even make because, their parent or even like grandparent wasn't in their life. So, it's for the betterment of our society. Yeah.
I like that. My morality lesson is very different than both of yours. I wrote out.
Trevor's like, my morality lesson is nothing beats a good book.
No, mine is just because another man's trash is another man's treasure doesn't mean it's always treasure. Like, because at the beginning, Elsie's really excited about this book, and we later learn that May doesn't care for the book, so it is literally a person's trash becoming another person's treasure. And then at the end, Elsie discovers that the book isn't what she thought it was. So yes, so what I'm saying is that
the real treasure was family.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say I would just
no, there's no wrong answers, but we're not looking for that one.
That can be a right answer, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this morality is that the statement another man's trash or someone's trash is another man's treasure is not always true. I don't know. Saying it out loud.
I get you.
Silly, but
yeah. Just because someone threw I understand what you mean. It's like not some things are thrown away for a reason.
Yeah. Is there a way we can combine all three of our moral lessons? So there's lessons to be learned. Always older generations connecting with younger generations is important and valuable. And yeah, would you say, or would you
Yeah.
reword it differently? Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not the best at wording things very elegantly, so
Ben, take a better go at it.
I like, because what I really liked was what you said, Hannah, with the it's never too late. I think one thing I can really encapsulate that is it's never too late to reconnect with family. So like there's some way to condense this where you can always, like, there's lessons to be learned in unexpected places. It's never too late to reconnect with family. And some things that not everything is important, I think is maybe a good way to tie Trevor's into this. And I think what can help us sift through what is and is not important is the wisdom of generations.
yes.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
We're cooking a little bit. The water's boiling. Time to put the pasta in. It's cooking.
What I've learned in this episode is that Ben's really good at making things succinct, and I'm gonna capitalize on that skill in upcoming episodes. I'm gonna be rambling like I always do, and I'm gonna be like, Ben, translate, and you'll say it in a nice sentence.
It makes you feel better. I do this at work. One of my coworkers came up and was like, hey, how does this email read? And I was like, first off, that first sentence is awful. I know what you mean to say. Terrible. And basically took his whole paragraph and I was like, 2 sentences, send it. Because he's doing all this stuff and I'm like, just say what your problem is and what your solution is. It's like, I understand why you're providing context. We don't need it unless they ask for it. Like all it is, hey, we're having this problem. This is my proposed solution. Boom. And then if they ask for why is this a problem? Oh, I had this situation happen recently. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
You need to talk to all my students before they email me. Like, I need you to like. Let's transition into the next segment, which is the thematic analysis, aka the core of each episode. We're gonna talk about inheritance. So, y'all, what does inheritance mean to you?
All right, Trevor, kick us off.
Oh, okay. I'll kick it off. Okay. Inheritance is really about receiving or giving something, or no, like receiving something from somewhere.
It's Christmas.
Yeah, like I do think inherently it's about funny. It's about receiving things from family, but I think it's more loosely and broadly just about receiving an object and taking that in. That's how I would. I guess that doesn't really answer the question of what does it mean to you. It just like what is. Yeah, that's a definition. What does it mean to me is I don't even know. I guess. What comes immediately to my mind is just the idea of learning things from people, inheriting knowledge. I do surround myself with scholars and I take value in learning things from people, both family or others. So I guess that's what inheritance means to me.
Reminds me of a phrase, a saying I just heard, where lessons can be learned from the most unexpected places.
Oh, you're going to make me mad this episode.
It's all coming together.
Anna, what is
I can see the puzzle.
Anna, what is inheritance to you?
Yeah. So honestly, I feel like there can be good things that you can inherit. And also there are bad things that you could also inherit. Like, so I'm just thinking like, in like the context of even family, because like, you know, you inherit like even like bad like genes or diseases from your parents, and but you can also like receive some really amazing things. And so, you know, but we all have like, you know, whether it's for the better or for the worse, you can inherit it. Wow.
Yeah, I like
so true.
I like you highlighting the hereditary nature of it, where you literally get traits from people. That I think that's an important facet that we could even bring up in the analysis. Ben, how about you?
Yeah. So besides Hannah stealing my thunder, because that is something I was going to bring up later, is inheritance is the giant whose shoulders we stand on. Like it is, like Hannah said, the good and the bad from family, from friends. It is what builds our experience and what informs us going forward. So it's like the lessons, the materials, the genetics. It is what builds our base for us to continue moving forward.
Mm-hmm. And some things you can like even choose to accept versus some things you can choose to reject.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, where do you see inheritance in this episode? Go ahead, Hannah. Start us off.
Honestly, I don't really see inheritance because she's buying the book.
Well, I would argue that inheritance doesn't mean you get it for free. She's inheriting it because she's literally being given it. Does inheritance mean that it's free? Yeah, Ben.
So what I would say is the book isn't the inheritance. Like it's the scene is the book scene, but that's not what's being inherited. What's being inherited is the love of books. What's being inherited is the like Pappy's like supposed wants and dreams. It's the classic, this is what you want. No, Dad, this is what you want. Where, you know, we don't know how long Pappy's been out of Son's life, but it's obviously been a long time because like Hannah said earlier, Pappy wasn't recognized, but Son has built up this idealized version of what Pappy likes, what he loves, what the, you know, what his like dreams are. And it's proven wrong, you know, and that's the thing is Son inherited these ideas only for Pappy to turn around and be like, hey, that's not who I am. Like, you have so much to learn. There aren't words in this book. You don't know a thing. And I think that like my first thing was like, okay, where is the inheritance in here? Because like Hannah said, the book isn't being given like a normal inheritance. It's being sold. But the lesson in that is what's being inherited, where the dad says, hey, you know, I don't like books. That's why I'm selling it to you. Like the lesson that I'm imparting on you, that's your inheritance. You know, the experience and like how do I phrase this? That like the emotion and like, I don't want to say like critical thinking process, but like the whole thing about learning about like everything you thought you knew about your, you know, hero is wrong, and having to come to terms with that. And what does it really mean? Like why are books so important? What is so important? What is it? The knowledge that they contain? What is it about the book and about the like pursuit of books that is important? And it turns out that the book isn't what's important, because very soon the book is on the sideline. We don't finish the sale. That's not what's important. What's important is the family. And I think that inheritance is the kind of lessons learned by Son throughout this sale. That feels like a very shaky and long-winded answer, but I don't know how to word it better right now.
It was beautiful, honestly.
Drawn to your idea of inheritance and expectation, it makes me think about how oftentimes you get narratives, children having dead parents, and they spend the whole movie or the whole book thinking about they expected their parents to be like this when they were younger. And often in those narratives, the story goes out of its way to be like, oh, you thought this of your mother? Well, your mother was actually not a very good person. And then they have to reconcile with the fact that they expected someone to be that way. And I guess that makes me question, like, if you inherit expectations, like, it's not a thing that you necessarily inherit from your parents, but inherit from like what society tells us to expect of their parents. Mm-hmm. And from that, anytime there's expectations in anything, there's always going to be disappointment. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but there's something really interesting to me about the idea of you as a child are going to have expectations for your parent, whether they stay in your life or they don't. And parents just inherently are going to not live up to those expectations because no one can live up to it. Is what I'm saying make any sense at all? I'm kind of rambling here.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, and this isn't what you're saying, but like the son, because I forgot her name.
Elsie.
Elsie. So Elsie, aka Son, you know, probably inherited like these expectations of who her pappy was from society instead of actually from, you know, whoever Elsie was raised by.
Hmm.
I don't know. Is that what you were trying to?
Yeah, I think so. I want to steer the conversation a little bit because
Yes.
I read it very differently than how Ben read the episode. I promise this isn't a creator's intention. I was like, this is how I like read it
Mhm.
this time. May as a character is very, the only word I can ever use to describe these characters is apathetic. They're very calm and still. And I think some of her lines, therefore, could mean multiple different things because she doesn't have a lot of tone. And to me, her saying, I am your pappy or whatever is her just like, it's kind of like sass talk. Like, I don't know if it's actually like
Hmm.
genuine. Like it's more of a,
I'm your daddy.
yeah, that,
Interesting.
yeah, just a dominance thing. I don't know. I don't,
I want to be
read it this
real.
time.
I disagree. I'm going to
Okay.
disagree wholeheartedly. And I think reading it as this is the dad makes it such a better scene of like through the lens of like this is the reconnection of child and parent, and like the coming to terms with the realization of, you know, my parent isn't who I thought they were. I have to reevaluate probably a hobby that I picked up is as like a substitution for a relationship with my parent.
Mm.
And then at the very end where they come back together and they have that reconnection, that ending just is complete hogwash if they're not related. I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder with my bookseller. No, I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder with my pappy.
I'm looking at my notes right now and there's just like scribbles and I'm trying to like come up with something.
Trevor's like, I gotta build the defense quick.
Yeah. I guess I didn't really like come with a concrete structure. I was just kind of looking at the little details and not the entire picture, which we'll stick with that narrative. I want to look at the little things quickly instead of the bigger picture. Other ways I saw inheritance is like the idea, an accent. Emily's character, Elise, has a very distinct
Elsie?
accent. It's Elsie, sorry. They just
Son.
think I've made
Son.
the son. The son has a very distinct accent, and it was making me think of like where you pick up accents. I knew someone whose like father or something was British, but they didn't have a British accent. So this isn't any groundbreaking things, but it speaks to the idea that inheritance doesn't have to come from family. I know we already kind of touched on that, but I found her accent choice very interesting. Is little can I say?
It was intentional.
Everything
Yeah.
was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, that's how we're
Just
reading.
like the way that Son makes eye contact with the camera, speaking to us a couple times throughout the piece.
Yes. How do we read that? Well, is that more of the next? Yeah, that's more of a next section question.
Mhm.
We're gonna keep with inheritance. I
Oh,
think we have
I'm
that
not
written
trying to
down.
transition us forward. I was just pointing out that everything was intentional. It
Yeah.
wasn't an interesting choice. It was why was that choice made?
Yeah. What are other notes that I have about inheritance? The idea that the book is made from things from different places, I found to be symbolic of inheritance because we inherit traits, like Hannah pointed out, with hereditary nature. And so we get it from various different places and we become one thing.
I was going to say, like, the inheritance of, especially in the context of a parent raising a child, is they're distilling all of their life experience from everywhere they've been into the lessons they impart on their child.
Going back to what Hannah was saying during the morality section, too. Nice. Nice.
It's all coming
Especially-
together.
Yeah, oh yeah, the puzzle, it's fitting, especially because the paper is coming from Brazil, which, I mean, when the thing is, we have China and Brazil, right? And I would more commonly associate paper with China, you know, because you could make paper out of bamboo. They have more like fibrous products that I think you could make paper more easily out of.
I
thought that
guess.
was
I don't know.
Anyways, more back to, because I know, Hannah, I don't know if you have that bit that you were thinking of. I know I interrupted you like 10 minutes ago on something. I didn't know if you had a good chunk to say here.
I don't remember
Okay.
Oh,
being interrupted, but I appreciate your attention to detail. But all I can remember about that like China, Brazil thing, I think we just said two random countries, honestly. But
well,
But it was an
again,
intentional choice.
we're looking at this as if everything's intentional.
true.
Mhm.
So like we're pretending the creator picked those two countries out for a reason, and we're asking what that reason would be. I don't know how I would read that. I kind of just went with the idea of like we as people come from many different places, and we get those many different places through our bloodline. And so maybe if I'm going to go down this path that I'm going, we connect our inheritance and identity, oftentimes, at least in America, to nations. And I'm like, oh, I'm 75% Irish or something of that nature. I don't think there's anything profound to say about that, but that's under the idea of inheritance. That's what that makes. Is that we get our traits, or we associate our traits from places around the world.
And I think touching on that, right, is where we have these labels kind of for where we're from, where our family's from. And yet the inside of the book is blank, ready for Sun to write her own story. Because no matter where the products of the book are from, its contents are made by the person writing it.
Wow. Mike,
That's where Trevor goes, damn, man, that was good.
I'm going to need to work on coming up with some profound reading of these videos next. You're much better at it than I am. I was really also drawn to, this kind of connects back to inheritance and expectation, but I was thinking about how when I think back on this video, I remember almost all of it, but I forgot about these two lines in the middle where Elsie, the son, basically goes, "You're not manly enough for that." And then May responds with, "Who said Pappies need to be manly?" I'm not sure if I have much to say about that. I just found that interesting under the idea of, again, connecting back to what I was rambling about earlier, we have expectations of what our parents should be like. And oftentimes we learn things about gender through our parents and how they act, because movies and TV and books and politics and whatever else. Yeah, just society in general teaches us that not only things about gender, but often teaches us that we need to learn about gender from our parent. And if we're reading it as Elsie has never met her dad and she meets her dad now, she's not had this expectation in her head and built this picture of her dad as just some buff dude, probably. And I don't know where I'm going with that.
Does she not say that her dad isn't as manly? Isn't it, "My pappy's not as manly as you"?
Yeah.
I think the line was, my pappy's not as manly as you. And then Pappy says, "Not all pappies have to be manly."
Let me look at it. Oh, my pappy isn't as manly as you, but not all pappies have to be manly. You could still read it the way I'm saying it. Like she could be saying, it could just be referring to the pappy in her head.
But
isn't how
less
we're reading?
manly. Like my pappy's isn't as manly as you.
Oh,
so my pappy's more feminine. And then Pappy's going, "Yeah, not all pappies have to be manly."
that's confusing.
One would think.
I'm really confused now.
Because if I've never really thought about the line too much until now, but because Elsie's saying to May that May is really manly.
And or her dad is more feminine than May is. The idea, the realization, or like her idea of her dad is more feminine than May is.
Oh, okay. So I completely have been imagining this line incorrectly for my entire life, I guess, or at least during this watch, which is really weird. I don't know why. Okay. I feel so foolish right now.
No, Trevor, I think you're on the same page. So there.
I'm embarrassed, but not all pappies have to be manly.
Which, I think, and that might be the fact that this might be an insult towards Pappy from Sun, where it's like, hey, you might be like a man's, like you might be manlier, but like my dad was not a man. And this is Pappy going, yeah, not all dads have to be. You can have father figures who aren't, stereotypically masculine, like peak masculine figures.
Mm-hmm.
There are aspects of fatherhood that can be unmoored from masculinity as we know it. And I'm thinking that this is Pappy going like, yes, and that's okay. Like you thought your dad was more feminine, and that's okay for him to be.
let's transition into the lore implications. What does this video, without the context of others, tell us about the world of Ichor?
So first things first is the first time I think we hear of countries. This is the first thing we hear of nations. Even like America, I don't think has been name dropped or acknowledged.
I don't think America has ever been name dropped in all of Ichor.
Yeah. And so we're hearing of nations for the first time.
I did, fun fact, write a script that you got sent today that mentions the word America in it. So America got name dropped.
Well,
so in the future, we might actually acknowledge it. Yeah, we learned about nations. I think there's also, what else we learned? I got all of these ideas in my head and they went out the window. Is there anything to you, Hannah, that this video teaches you about the world of Ichor without the context of the others?
Okay, for quick, remind me of what happens in the ones leading up to this, or is it just like...
Well, we're talking about just the context of this video.
Okay. The book is important later.
We are introduced to the book. This goes into the next question I have in this segment, which is what questions does this video raise about the Ichorverse? If we're not going to do the whole analysis of inheritance and Pappy and Son and stuff, I think the video raises the question that what is the significance of there not being words in the book? What's the significance of words? Okay. What other questions does it raise?
If that is that a standing question, or do you want us to answer it, or are we just asking more questions? I mean, words. I mean, up to you. Yeah, I was like, words are what give books their meaning. The only reason that books exist is as a storage container for words. That is their purpose. And so here we have Son, going like, oh, I know what's in there. It's words. It's what that is. I have a very shallow view of the world and what it's supposed to be like. He goes, you're out of your depth, kid. You don't know a thing. It transforms a book from a vessel of words into a vessel of creation, because now you have the ability to write it and create your own story, you can turn the book into whatever you like. You could turn it into a sketchbook.
It also brings up the question of what was Elsie expecting there to be? What form of words was she expecting?
Yeah, because she does say, my Pappy always wanted a book like this. Is she just saying like a book in general, or is she expecting a very particular kind of book?
Yes.
That's a good question, because the things that were highlighted as like, oh, this is what's cool about the book is where the paper's from, where the leather's from. And then, like you said, she goes, oh, my Pappy wanted a book like this, and doesn't even seem to be concerned with what words are in there. So like, oh, you don't even know what's in there. Yeah, it's the story of blank. It's blank. It's just, there's words in it. Like, and that's where I think it ties into Son inherited this, my Pappy was a book collector. I'm just going to look for fancy books without caring for the content inside of it. And I think, that's where we have, I don't think Son was really cared at all about the contents, because at no point are the contents brought up. And she's not, when asked like, oh, you don't even know what's in there. It's words, duh. Like not even specific words or a story or drawings, or there's nothing about the contents besides, I know there's words in here. The title's never mentioned, I
mean, that all being said, another question it asks is, what is the significance of because clearly Elsie's upset at the end by finding out that there's no words in it. Like, what is the significance of being no words? Like, why is that upsetting? I
have thoughts, but I want to, Hannah, if you have anything, please go, because I could keep yapping.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm just coming up with more questions myself.
That's what's so fun about this, Hannah. It's just you get to overthink things, and it's fun to just have a dedicated time to overthink. I also realized while we were rambling about this, if you want to answer the question in a second, Ben, you can. No, before I say that, you answer what you want to say about the question, because I'm going to be kind of changing the topic. Yeah.
Me? Oh, yeah,
Ben.
Well, it was the question we just asked about, why it's so upsetting. It's, so one, big revelation about Pappy and who she is. But two, imagine it's like the first time your support structure is gone. It's like you're maybe used to someone, you're used to reading picture books for the longest time, and now you have to read a chapter book. You don't have those pictures. It's the first time she's in, like the Pappy says, hey, no words for you. Like, you have to do this on your own. This is an endeavor. It's going to be different and challenging. And it's that loss of familiarity. It's that loss of, like I said, like structure, where it's like, oh, I'm going to have to do something new and different. You know, like instead of reading a book, I'm going to have to write a book. You know, instead of just collecting fancy books from places, I need to start caring about what's inside them.
Okay. I just wanted to say also the first question about what does this ad say about the world of Iker? Tell us about the world of Iker. I realized it tells us that movement doesn't make a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
That's something I totally forgot to mention. They're just nonsensical with the movement. Is there any other questions that about beyond just the words in the book that this might raise about the Ikerverse specifically that you can think of?
International trade exists. So that means there's some sort of global marketplace.
Mm-hmm. What is the currency?
And, what are they buying and selling with? And also, what is with this book that you're inviting someone into your home?
And I also wrote down, why do they sit there for a bit and then go, do you have it? Like, what?
Was it found by like Facebook Marketplace or?
And also,
Okay.
you have Pappy like being so like scared, being so gentle to hand it over, almost like questioning if Sun is ready before Sun snatches it up.
Perhaps the book is a bomb. If we leave this narrative where I'm reading it under, maybe the book is actually, maybe they're speaking in code and it's, I don't know what I'm saying.
Maybe the book is genetic schizophrenia that the father's passing on to Sun.
Okay. Okay. Do you
Talk
notice
about
any,
genetics.
Do you notice any parallels to real life stories, mythological, historical, or other?
Star Wars.
Why Star Wars? Oh, I just realized why.
Trevor goes, what's the most famous line in Star Wars? I haven't heard it. Dark Father, who's that?
I'm now realizing that was definitely my intention of what I was referencing when that happened.
It 100% was.
I only think about these videos in the context of Iker that I completely forget like things like that. But that was 100% the intention, and I don't know why that hasn't crossed my mind for 10 years. Oh, any other parallels to stories, mythological, historical, or whatever else?
There was, but I forgot.
Right? It's the classic clash between father and son that we see play out all the time. Normally, however, we see the son usurp the father, except this time we see them come together, which is also very different from my first watch. My first watch was so different from this. And this time I saw like May's little smirk before they get together, where it's like, son learned. He's learning. She's coming into her own. But like, I got from this what I wanted. And then they have the cathartic connection at the end. I did not get the catharsis the first time I watched this. I think this time we have a unusually good ending of a father clashing with their son.
Honestly, an unusually good ending for Iker.
No one died.
It was a little fairy tale moment.
Mm-hmm. Everybody
I-
lives just this once.
Okay, Doctor Who. Hannah, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but like obviously my entire life is dedicated to writing and I write a lot. But anytime character dies in a story I write, I hear your little voice in my head, like in high school being like, every story you write, people always die. Like, I don't remember exactly what you said, but it's just basically that essence. And yeah, you are much more than that to me, but that is a little legacy of yours that lives with me.
Just a little constant reminder of
you always.
Yep.
What were you going to say, Ben?
I say dying is one of the most emotional things you can do.
For the most part.
Usually. Let's
do one last question before we close it off, and let's do like a quick one. In the context of this film, what do you think happened before this? What do you think happened leading up to this, and what do you think happened after? If you had to make it up.
Hannah, do you want me to go first?
Go for it.
Okay, I can buy you some time. I think before this is you have Sun innocently trolling the marketplace for books. I think she's been buying books for a while. I think she's an amateur book collector. And I think Pappy was waiting to reveal herself. And it's like, I know I'm tracking Sun's activity. I know what she's looking for. The time is right. And sets up the deal. I'm going to, come over to your house with this book that, Pappy always wanted. Surprise, that's me. And I think after this, I think they get something to eat. I think I would not be surprised if they went out to go eat something. They finally reconnected. They're staring out at the world. And I think, it's a perfect time. Pappy goes, "You hungry, son?" Boom. They start their new relationship together.
And how about you? What do you think happened before and after this?
Honestly, my initial thoughts weren't far off from Ben.
Okay, you can copy Ben.
No, but I also, a question was raised, does, Elsie even know how to, read?
Mm.
Is this just the first book? Does Pappy know how to read?
What if this is an unreliable narrator and there are words in there and we are just being presented through their eyes, and to Elsie, the book just looks like nothing?
But even if you were illiterate, you would see the symbols, even if they meant nothing.
What if it's like a symbolic thing? It's symbolic.
I know writers who use subtext, and this isn't one of them.
Well, this is not one of them at that moment.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Hannah, I interrupted you. Can you finish your thought, please? I'm sorry.
No, it was just oh yeah, my Pappy wanted to know how to read. Let me go get a book from this random person off of Facebook Marketplace and have tea beforehand and, make it real awkward, And then afterwards, if we're following that, timeline of events, I know I can't picture a better ending than going out to eat, honestly. With that fairy tale ending, you gotta continue that.
Let the good vibes roll.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a completely different read. I think Elsie was Jay chillin' and got a text from a random number, and that said, "Want some books?" all lowercase question mark.
SUM.
Yeah. And then she was like, "Who is this?" And May was like, "You know who this is." And then, I don't know, they talk. May comes over, they're sitting on the couch. That's why it's so awkward. What do we do? And slides over the book. All that happens, blah, blah, blah. And then after they stare out the window, I think in my read, Elsie's just matching May's awkward energy. Elsie doesn't know what to do with the energy that's going on in the room. And so after we cut, May just promptly leaving Elsie in the house with that is what happens in my head.
Hey, and you know what? There are no wrong answers.
Or they have an awkward homemade dinner.
Who do you think makes it? Big question. Whose house is this?
Yeah. It's got to be Elsie's.
I would assume so, because May's bringing the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So probably Elsie would cook, or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or they cook together.
I think in your May was too awkward, you said?
Could possibly too awkward to even know how to cook.
Yeah, I think in Trevor's read, I think they wouldn't cook together.
No,
I think it might be like Elsie has something that's been in the stove for a while, and I was like, oh well, I have to take it out, and it would be rude to not offer some. I don't want you to stay for dinner, but my pot roast is done. And then May's like, yeah, I'll have some, because you can't refuse something, right? That'd be awkward if you said no. So they sit at opposite ends of the table, just trying not to look at each other while they slowly eat this meal.
I could see that too. Let's do the last part, which is the guest sums up the episode in one sentence. Hannah, do you have a sentence for us?
Yes, but also I have a random comment.
Okay, go. Yeah, throw it at us.
Might be on the topic of even inheritance, but the jacket that I wore as May, that was my dad's.
Oh, okay, Easter egg.
It's all coming together.
Yep. My grandma even made it. Well, she did a cute design on the back, but it's all coming together.
It's all coming together. That's 3 generations in one jacket.
Inheritance.
Give us that sentence, Hannah.
Yes. So to sum it all up, well, I feel like my sentence has changed now after all of this discussion.
Can you give us the before sentence and then the new sentence?
Yes. Well, I don't think I have a new sentence, just the old one.
Okay.
But yes, through a Facebook Marketplace ad, son reunites with his pappy.
I love it. That's beautiful. Wonderful.
Perfect episode description.
I love that this definitely takes place in 2016 and Facebook Marketplace definitely didn't exist. That wasn't a thing in 2016, right? That's like a
No.
last 5-6 years type thing.
No.
Let's find out.
It really didn't. I probably just have an unhealthy appreciation for Facebook.
Facebook Marketplace started in 2016.
Oh, so it could
It launched in October 2016.
So it could realistically be.
This could be the first ever Facebook Marketplace sale.
Yeah, that matches. That seems right. That's now my canon. This is the first ever Facebook Marketplace events exchange.
All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of Icrospective. Massive thanks to our guest today, Hannah, and as always to my co-host, Ben. The music you heard in this episode was composed by Cameron Carter. Thank you, Cam, for your brilliant work. Our cover art was designed by Megan Bain. Thank you, Megan, for being a fantastic artist. Thank you to all who engage in Icker Media and help with the creation of it. And most importantly, thank you to our past and present patrons, one of which joins me every episode, Ben, as well as Reese Brockup, Candy Prector, Noah Seam, and Rin Anderson. Your support means more than I can express on this silly little podcast. To our audience, thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe to Icarate Films on YouTube and Patreon and wherever else we choose to post. Also, consider leaving a review for this podcast. How'd we do? What would you like to see more or less of? Every review helps with engagement, so thank you in advance. We'll be back soon with another episode where we'll be talking about the hunt scene under the lens of spectacle. Until then, remember to read until your eyes bleed. Or at least listen to audiobooks. Bye!
Is there a way we can combine all three of our moral lessons?
Ben,
I already forgot yours. Can you refresh me?
Yeah.
What? That you can always find a lesson in unexpected places.
Okay.
I phrased mine well, and you're like, another man's trash is not always sorry. You said another man's trash is another man's treasure not always a treasure. That's how you said it. You would say in a fun, quippy way. Mine could go in a book. Yours would be very easy. Another man's trash is not always another man's treasure. Boom, right there. Easy. Layup.
You've murdered me.
To you. I'm so sorry. I'm being so mean to you today. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Now that we've done that, let's combine all three of them.
The morality tale is I need to stop being mean to you just because you're mean to me when we're on camera.
No, that is also not a correct answer, Ben.